Okay, so you know what I want us to do now, Cretans? I want us to work on question 2 of this question paper. So this is going to be a very nice one. Uh, okay, so remember, you need to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the next lesson, right? So remember, we did question 1 and we can see how to collect that 9 marks. So now, look at this question 2. This is very nice and clean question. Easy marks, guys. Easy marks. You're gonna see what we're going to do when we move through all these questions. Okay, let's dive into the questions and leave the stories for later. So now what I'm going to do on the first one, they want us to factorize. Factorize fully. Okay, the first one, 2.1.1. Look at this. If I factorize, first thing first to check, do I have common variables? Yes. Look at this. A, X, X. So already this thing is in the right order, the order that I need. Look at the first bracket. I'm gonna put the bracket on the first one and leave the negative outside. I'll explain why I am going to leave the negative outside. So to factorize this is 2.1.1. So to factorize that, I'm gonna take out a there as a common factor. So this will be a. Look at what I have inside the bracket. So this will be a, and then, so if this is a, I'm gonna say this will be inside the bracket. I'm left with a minus 2, because if I multiply out the bracket, they should give me a squared minus 2a. So now look at this. Now that I have that inside the bracket, uh, I have a minus 2. So I needed the 2 to be negative, and this is 2 here is positive. The only way to get that 2 to be negative, because I need to have same terms inside each bracket, okay? So this tells you that this side, I'm going to group this with that negative. I hope this makes sense, because the aim is to take out x as a common factor, but we need to take it with that negative. You understand why we need x out as a common factor with the negative sign. So this will be minus x, close the bracket. So look at this. When I take minus x inside the bracket, this term here, I'm left with a, which is positive. You see? Then now I have x out as a common factor, but I have positive 2. So the best way to do this is that I'm going to have minus 2 inside the bracket, because if I say minus x times minus 2, it will give me that positive 2x. The aim is to say that when we multiply out the bracket, we need to get the original term. So if I say minus x times a, I should get minus ax. When I say minus x times minus 2, I should get positive 2x. So now you understand why I'm grouping that with the negative, so that I can take negative x out as a common factor. Okay, so with that being said, you know what you're going to do now, because look at this. Since the bracket are the same, that a minus 2 is a common factor again. So it's going to be a minus 2. We take it out as a common factor. Then inside the bracket, what's left? Where does a we put 1? So I'm left with a times 1, which is a, minus x times 1, which is x. So this is fully factorized. That's how you collected the 3 marks. Easy 3 marks, right? So that's how you collected that marks. I think this one is an easy one. Okay, so but now when I look at this, how are we going to collect the marks then? How are they going to give us those marks? Let's discuss how you will get the mark. Okay, so in this one, you'll definitely get a mark for taking a out as a common factor there, and you'll definitely get a mark for taking minus x out as a common factor there, and they'll give you the last mark for the answer. That was easy, right? So let's move to the next one, which is 2.1.2. So this one, wow, this one, I need to teach you how to factorize a cubic function. So I hope you are paying attention there. So this is 2.1.2. How do we factorize a cubic function? I'm just gonna write it down. I'm not sure, but let's put it down here. Factorizing a cubic function. Okay, so now if I have x, okay, I have x cubed minus 27. Okay, so the first step is to find the first factor. So to find the first factor, you're going to cube root of these two numbers. Let me just put it maybe this side, or we should just put it on our solution. Is fine. We should just put it on our solution, right? So this is x cubed. We are subtracting 27. So to find the first factor, you're gonna cube root these two terms. You see, you cube root these two terms. So I'm just gonna remove this and write it like this. I have 27, then you cube root that part also. So this one, if I have the x to the power 3, cube root of x to the power 3 is just x. I'm not sure if you guys want me to explain the laws of exponent, but let's quickly work on that. Why is that x? Remember, if I have x to the square root of, okay, let's say this is m, the root of x. This is equal to x, what you have inside the square root. The exponent inside the square root becomes a numerator, and the one outside it becomes a denominator. So if I have 3, the root of x to the power 3, this will be what? This will be x. The one inside comes on top, and the ones outside comes on bottom, which cancel 3 over 3. It's 3, which just gives us x. I hope you understand how I got x. Then the 3, that one we can use the calculator just to save time. We can say, oh, it's already there. You can just say shift root 27 and look at what we get. We get 3. So this tells you that when I have something like this, I'm going to say this will give me negative, which is the negative between, then 3. Then close those brackets. Right. So when it's a cubic, just know that after this factor, whatever that we're going to get this time, this side is going to be quadratic. Okay, it's going to be quadratic. So to find the quadratic part, remember I have x to. I hope you are still with me on that. Net. Please don't get lost. We have x to the power 3 minus 27. You take this x, you divide that x to the power 3, which gives us x squared. You're going to write the x squared down there. Then you take this minus 3, you divide that 27, which gives us positive 9. So to find the middle part, then to find the middle part, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take this x, you multiply with minus 3. So it's going to be x times negative 3 with the sign. This gives us what? Negative 3x. But when you substitute inside the bracket, you put it with a different sign. Instead of negative, this will be positive 3x. I hope this makes sense. I hope you understand how to factorize a cubic function now. So if you don't understand, just try to go back, maybe go back where we start explaining this. Try to work on this step by step. Okay, so what's next? Remember, this equation, it is divided by x squared plus 3x. So everything here is divided by what? Everything is divided by x squared plus 3x plus 9. I know, right? I know what you are seeing on your side. Now, this 2 cancels, and to factorize this just x minus 3. Easy. Easy 3 marks. The most important thing is to understand how to factorize that cubic function. Let's move to the next one. The next question, which is 2.2.1. Okay, 2.2.1. Let's see what we have there. Okay, so simplify the following. We are multiplying. It's like saying binomial by trinomial. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but we are multiplying two terms with three terms. So it's binomial by trinomial. So look at this. I need to take the 2y, multiply everything inside that bracket. So I have to take the 2y. Okay, I think we're gonna need a space for this one. I have to take the 2y, then multiply everything inside that bracket, the 6y squared plus the 4y minus 8. And then from this, I need to take the minus 3y, or the minus 3, multiply the bracket, which is 6y squared, then plus 4y with minus 8. You see? Now, let's multiply out the bracket. 2y times 6y squared, that gives us 12y to the power 3. Okay? Then 2y times 4y, that gives us positive 8y squared. Then 2y times minus 8, that gives us minus 16y. Then now we are multiplying the bracket with minus 3. So this is minus 3 times 6y squared gives us minus 18y squared. Then minus 3 times positive 4y gives us minus 12y. Then minus 3 times minus 8. So that gives us, I think that's 24, right? So it's positive 24. So in most cases, the common mistakes that most learners do when they multiplying out the brackets, they forget to consider the signs. Okay, they forget to consider the sign. This is very important, very, very important, because if this 2 is positive and the 6 is positive, the answer is positive. And if the 2 is positive and the 8 is negative, the answer is negative. I hope you guys understand that part. So now you just have to check if you have the like terms. So the like terms are the ones that have the same degree. Look at this. Y squared, y squared. We need to add those two terms. So it will be minus, it's 8 minus 80, which gives you minus 10. You can also verify that with your calculator. So this will be 12y to the power 3. Then I take the 8 and the minus 18. This will give us minus 10y squared. Okay, what's next? Let's look if we have other like terms. I have the minus 16y with minus 12y. So minus 16 minus 12, that's 10 plus 10, that's 26 plus 2, that's 8, which gives us negative 28y. Then the last one is 24. There's no other term, there's no other constant value, only that one. We just write 24. Then this is simplified because there's nothing else we can do from this step. There's nothing you can do. You can't add those terms. This is where you stop. Okay, but the most important thing is to make sure that that you have this 8y, and then you have this minus 16, because there's a mark for that part. There's a mark for multiplying the first bracket by multiplying the bracket by 2y, and also this part here, there's a mark for that. For multiplying out the bracket by minus 3, there's a mark for that. And then now let's say that maybe you made a mistake somewhere when you add the like terms. You still have 2 marks because you multiplied the bracket correctly. So now what's next? There's another mark for the final answer. That's how you collect the 3 marks. Right. Okay, let's look at the next one. This one has to do with exponents. Ladies and gents, when you work with exponents, especially this type of exponent, make sure that you work with the same base. Look at the smallest base, which is 2 on this question. You need to check, can I change 4 to base 2? Yes. So if you don't know how to do that, maybe you can also use a calculator. Just say 4 equal sign shift then you press fact. It will tell you that, okay, let me fix this. 4 equal sign, then shift, you punch fact. It will tell you that the 4 can be written as 2 to the power 2. Let's try with the 16. Look at this. 16 equal sign, shift, fact. So that the 16 can be written as 2 to the power 4. So I'll go on that question and change those numbers. So I'm going to write this as 2 to the power 2n multiplied by the 4. I'm going to substitute that by 2 to the power 2, close the bracket, to the power n. This is multiplied by 2. Everything is divided by 16, which is 2 to the power 4, and this is multiplied by n. So now let's multiply the exponents. This, you multiply the exponent, you also do the same on the denominator. So this will give us 2 to the power 2n times, then 2 times n, that's 2 to the power 2n, then times 2 to the power 1. I know that this is 2 to the power 1, and everything there, it is divided by 2 to the power 4n. So what's next? On top, the base are the same. We are multiplying the same base. What do you do to the exponent? This has to do with the laws of exponent. The laws of exponent says that if I have a to the n, which is multiplied by a to the m, these bases are the same. I can add the exponent. This is the law that I'm going to apply to solve that step. So I'm going to take 2, then add all those exponents. 2n plus 2n plus 1. So the reason I'm writing this exponent down here is because most learners, they just forget that this is 2 to the power 1, and they forget to include it when they are adding those exponents. So it's very important that you do that. On the denominator, I still have 2 to the power 4n. So the top part gives me 2 to the power 4n plus 1 over 2 to the power 4n. I'm trying to go this by step, but look at this. The base are the same, and we are dividing. What do you do when you are dividing the same base? What do you do to the exponent? We subtract the exponent. So this will be a to that n. We subtract m. So let's see what this gives us. So I'm going to take, this will be equals to 2 to the power 4n plus 1. Then we subtract the 1 on the bottom, which is 4n. So the 4n cancel. This leaves us with an answer of 2 to the power 1. So the answer is just 2. Okay, I hope you guys are happy with that one. I hope you guys are very happy about that one. That was an easy one. But now let's talk about how are we going to collect the mark, the 3 mark. Let's see how they're going to give you the mark. So in most cases, they mark for changing that 2 to the n. You see that part? There's a mark for that. For changing this guy, there's a mark. And also for changing this one, there's a mark. You see? And they only mark the simplified one. So there's a mark for that one. So now you can see that even if maybe you do mistakes when it comes to adding the like terms, when dividing, subtracting, even if you make a mistake, you still have 2 marks. So now there's a mark for the final answer. Easy, simple. Wow, look at the last one. This is an easy 6 marks. They're just giving you away this 6 marks. So let's work on that one. Let's work on that one. Okay, so you know, a little bird just told me that, say, you're going to need an extra space for this one. I think your learners might appreciate if you go into much details on that last question. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's switch, and I'm going to rewrite this question the way it is, then we'll work on it. Okay, so the given question is like this. Let's see what we are given there. So we are given 3x to the power is 3x to the power 3, and look at this, minus 7x squared. Okay, so this is divided by what? Okay, then this is 3x squared plus 2x. Everything is 3x. Okay, so like in most cases, I know that some of you don't verify your questions after writing them down. Please make sure that you go to your question paper and verify if you wrote everything correctly, because I don't want you to waste your time solving incorrect solutions. You see, solving a wrong problem. So let's try and work on this one. Let's solve this. Let's simplify this problem. Yeah? So the first thing first, I'm going to analyze the given question. Look at the one on top. How can I simplify that? Easy. I can first take x out as a common factor, because I see that every term has a factor of x. So if I take x out as a common factor, the first term, it will be 3x squared. Because x times 3x squared, it will give me that 3x to the power 3. The next term, it will be left with 7x. Guys, if you need to understand how this works, I'm going to show you now. Eh? So if you don't understand how we got the 3x squared minus 7x, this is what you need to do. If you take x out as a common factor, you're going to take the 3x to the power 3, divide that by x. What do you get? So this is 3, and then I know that is 3 times x times x times x. Then everything is divided by x. Look at it. The x cancel with that. How many x left? 2 of them. So the answer is 3 squared. Then you do the same. You take the 7x squared, you divide that by x. Then this is just like 7 times x, divide that by x. The x cancel, I'm left with 7x. Same applies, minus 6x divided by x. The x cancel, I'm left with minus 6. I hope you guys understand how to take out the common factor. This is another way that you can apply, okay? Right. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try, because I'm trying to make this question so I can understand what is going on. Look at the bottom part. I have x squared minus 9. This is the difference of squares. This is how you factorize the difference of squares. You're going to first say x on both sides. When we say the difference of squares, you'll be given a variable squared minus a perfect square. So when you go on your calculators, you say root 9, you get your answer as 3. You put the 3 on both sides. So one bracket should be positive, the other one should be negative. For example, if I want you to factorize this, so the answer for this, you put the x on both brackets, then you say on your calculator the root of 25, which is just 5. So you put the 5 on both sides. One bracket should be positive, one should be negative. If I need you to factorize this, you see, 49 is the perfect square. So this will be x on both sides, and the root of 49 is 7. You put 7 on both sides. One should be negative, the other one should be positive. So that's how you factorize a cubic difference of squares. Okay, so let's divide this. If we differentiate, this is x plus 3 into x minus 3. Okay. Okay, so now when I look at this now, okay, so we still have the division sign there. And look at that 3x squared plus 2x. What is the common factor? X. So this will be x, and I'm left with 3x plus 2. I think you understand how this works, right? 3x squared, you divide that by x, which is the same as 3x times x over x. The x cancel, you left with 3x. Then 2x divided by x, the x cancel, you left with 2. So that's how it is. Then you do the same on the last one. So the last one, you can see that the common factor there is 9. We need to take the 9 out as a common factor. So I'm going to divide this by 3 into, so the common factor is 3, guys. So not 9, is 3. Then I'm left with x plus, remember, if I have 3x, common factor is 3. The 3 cancel, I'm left with x. And if I have 9 and the common factor is 3, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So this will be x plus 3. Okay, let's see what we can do with this information now. When I look at this, I'm interested in the top part of there. I have a quadratic equation. Okay, and I think that we can also factorize that quadratic equation, or we can just, okay, let's factorize the quadratic equation. I want us to factorize this part here, this one inside that bracket. Let's factorize and see what we get. So I have 3x squared minus 7x minus 6. Then when it's like this, I'm gonna open the two brackets, put the 3x this side, the x on the other side, and I know that the factors of 6, it's 3 and 2. But now you see, when the value of a is not 1, the coefficient of x squared is not 1, it becomes more difficult to factorize this. But let me teach you how to do this. So look at this. Let's say I put the 2 this side and I put the 3 this side. Let's see what you get. Okay, I think it's best if I start with the 3 this other side so that you can see what I'm trying to do. So if I put the 3 this side and the 2 this side, look at this. What is 3x times 3? It's 9x. And then let's say we decide to put the 2 this side and the 3 this side. So we're gonna say, what is 3 times 2? So 3 times 2 gives us 6x. So when it's like this, what I'm going to do, I need to choose the one that will bring us close to the middle term, and also the one that will give us the correct middle term. Look at this. If it's like this, we know that one bracket should be positive and one bracket should be negative. Okay, so if I have this like this, let's say I put the negative this side, and let's say I put the positive this side, and then this tells you that this will be minus x, then I need to add the 2x, which gives me negative 7x. So this one, the red one, is the correct one. This one is the correct one. Let's check that one. So this will give us 6x. So this will give us minus 6x, and then we add 3x. Can you see? This is not equal to negative 7x. So that one won't work. So this tells you that to factorize this, the best way to factorize this is to write it like this. X into 3x plus 2 into x minus 3. Right, and everything is divided by x plus 3 into x minus 3. Then let's change that division into multiplication. Then remember to interchange the fraction. Your numerator becomes a denominator and your denominator becomes a numerator. So this will be 3 into x into 3x plus 2. So since we are multiplying, I need you to look at the like terms, the terms that one of them is on the denominator, one of them is on the numerator. Cancel those terms. Look at this. X minus 3 cancel. 3x plus 2 is on top, 3x plus 2 is on bottom. They cancel. X plus 3 on bottom, x plus 3 on top. They cancel. X on bottom, on top, x on bottom. They cancel. Therefore, we just only left with 3, because everywhere where you cancel, there's 1. You put 1. Everywhere after canceling those terms, you put 1. Then you multiply. It's like saying 1 times 1 times 1 over 1 times 1 times 1 times 3 times 1 over. You see, the answer is just 3. And that's your final answer. Wow, this was a very long one. I never thought that it's going to take this long, but and that's it. So now, in most cases, how are we going to collect that 6 marks? Remember, this was 6 marks, right? So The first step was important, taking x out as a common factor. There's a mark for that. And also factorizing that, the bottom part, there's a mark for that. And then also taking out x as a common factor, there's a mark. And also taking 3 out as a common factor, there's also a mark. And they'll definitely give you a mark for factorizing that quadratic equation. Then you'll get the mark for the final answer. And that's 6 marks in total. And that's it for this one, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this one. So I'm looking forward, guys, to see you on the next one, which is question 3, solving for x. One of the most interesting question, especially when it comes to grade 10 work. This is very interesting. So if you want to see how to solve question 3, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Join us on the next lesson. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.